Hi folks, Professor Amachi. Wanted to get you through the Git Labs numbers 100 and 101. And right down here in the description, I'm going to have links to both of these labs for you. These labs I really like because they are command line. Throughout most of our courses, we've been using the Git desktop, which is great. The next level here is using Git via command line. So we're going to help you through both these labs and get your primer in there. Big favor is to consider liking and subscribing, as it really helps this channel. So if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so here we are with the Git 100 lab. It's the first Git lab, so I'm choosing to do this in VS Code just so that we can have a file view and a view of the terminal, just so that we can see what's going on here. So first thing we're gonna do is git config. And that's where you go ahead and put your name in there, not mine. Okay, and then we also want to configure the global user email as well. Okay, and if we want to go ahead and check that, we can do git config list. Okay, cool. So we got our username right there and our user email. So now we're all set. So let's go ahead and initialize the repository now. So let's make a directory in our home directory and let's call it source. Okay, so cd into that, and then we're gonna also create another directory under here too. Okay, and now we are under git intro. So first thing we gotta do is init, do a git init. What we're also gonna see here too is that I think by default, we're using the name master up here. The lab here is going to refer to main, but in this case, why don't we just keep master? And when the lab asks for main, let's just stick with master. Those two names will be synonymous. Okay. So checking repository status, we're under here on number 2. What we can do is do a git status. Okay. We are on our master branch. No commits yet. Okay, good. So now we should be able to add some files here. So in VS Code, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open a folder here. And let's open up that source right here so we can get a kind of a little visual of what's going on in here. Okay, so we got our terminal up here. Right, and we should be under git intro here. So, yep. All right, so now that we have our repository initialized, we have an empty repository here. So we're gonna create a file here under git intro. And probably one of the easiest things to do is use the command called touch. And that's just going to create a blank empty file. And we know that we're under source and git intro here. So let's do first.txt, right? And we see the file here. It's first.txt now. So it is under source git intro first.txt. And we do see it's untracked. So if we were to do a git status, we have an untracked file here. So to track this file now, we do a git add first.txt. Okay, cool. So here, why don't we open up this file? Okay, add some text here and save and execute a git status again. Okay, and we see here that the file has been modified. So why don't we do a git add first.txt. Okay, so since we did that, see git status, changes to be committed. So we have first.txt here, it's ready to be committed now. So why don't we commit the change by doing this? We'll do a git commit. Git commit, and we add inspirational quote. Okay, cool. So we see one file changed, one insertion there. And if we run our git status again, okay, we see we're on our branch master, nothing to commit, working tree is clean. If we were to do a git log here, we see we added an inspirational quote. And notice too that the username is here and the email. That's what we did at the very top of the lab. So take a look at this as well. This is our full commit hash. This is our full commit hash, but it can actually be shortened if we wanted to make a reference to it. It would be the first 7 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it would be the first 7 characters if you wanted to shorten it, right? If you're maybe on the phone or something like that and you didn't want to read out this entire hash. So you can actually refer to it as the first 7. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And yes, this may seem like a lot of work just to make a commit, but in time, it'll become pretty routine. So let's move forward and let's make a change to this first.txt file. And why don't we add this? Okay, just add a new line here. Yeah, and we could do this one for the Emerson text. That'll be fine. So go ahead and save that. Let's do a git status on this now. Here, let's clear this out. Okay, and we see file has been modified, so let's go ahead and add it. Okay, and let's also do a commit. Good, so let's take a look at the log now. So check this out. We added our inspirational quote. That was that first line. Add quote attribution. Yep, there's that second line there. And it was committed over here. Now we have 2 commits. Congratulations. So what if there's an error, like a typo up here? Why don't we fix it? Okay, go ahead and save. And same as always, we do our git add that file there, and then commit with our message that we fix the typo. Okay, good. So then now let's check this out. Git log. So we got our typo that was fixed right here. Okay. Why don't we use a Git Diff and we can compare this change right up here to maybe the first one down here where we added the inspirational quote. Maybe, so that's with Git Diff. And yes, we can technically use the first 7 here, but it might just be easier to just copy and paste like that. Okay, so here it is, the Git Diff of the 2 commits there. Okay, our best thoughts came from others, letters and social aims, quotation and originality. So good. Congratulations, you've done a good job. You've learned some of the fundamentals of Git, including configuring Git, checking file status, making commits, and determine differences between the files by using Git Diff here. Up next, we're going to do the Git 101, so stay tuned. Okay, welcome to Git 101. So the purpose of this particular lab right here is to investigate isolation of changes. So here is, I went ahead and did a sidebar right here, a summary of Git commands. So from Git 100, here are all the commands that we went through there. And Git 101, this is what we're going to be doing today. So let's say we have a new feature that we're working on. We might have to refactor some of the code, and we want to be able to check in our changes as we make progress. We also want to ensure that our changes don't impact production code. So to manage this situation, we're going to need to isolate our changes. And we can do that with Git branching. When we're working in a branch, we're basically operating in a parallel universe here. So what we have here is Git Branch. Okay, the lab is going to make reference to the main branch. In our case, it's the master. In your case, it's probably going to be master too. So just remember that main and master are synonymous. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a new branch. So let's do Git Branch, and we'll do Austen here, because we're going to add a Jane Austen quote. If we were to execute Git Branch, we now see that we have a Austen branch and a master branch here. So if we need to switch to that branch, we would just do Git checkout Austen. Okay, if we want to trust but verify, we are now on the Austen branch. Okay, let's add some text to our text file that's right up here. So let's say for line 3 here, let's add this. It's over in your lab, so you can, just copy and paste. That should be all right. Okay, save your file, commit your change. And remember, that was the git commit and then our commit message. So let's do a commit message of added Austen quote. And it looks like we also need to stage. We need to do the git add. Remember doing the git add that's right up here? So let's do the git add first.text. And now let's commit. Okay, so good. Here we go. One file changed. 2 insertions right there. And then let's check out this. So we did this under the austen branch. If we were to check out main, or in our case master, you notice as soon as we switch to branch master here, our first.txt file doesn't have that change in there. So if we wanted to take all of our changes from that austen branch and merge them into master, we use this, git merge. Git merge from austen. Okay, and here we go. We merged here. One file changed. And here it is. Under our master, now we have the text that's right here. So awesome. At some point here, we will have some experience with merge conflicts. That occurs when one or more users have made overlapping changes to a file. And Git can't automatically merge the changes like how we've done here. So in this exercise, this section right here, we will deliberately create a merge conflict so we can learn how to resolve it. So let's create a new branch here called Lincoln. Okay, and Git Branch. Look, so we have Austen, we have Lincoln. We also don't need that Austen branch anymore because we already did our changes and we are good there. So we could do this, Git Branch, tac D, Austen. And we deleted the branch. Okay, so good. Git Branch shows the branch was deleted. Okay, so we do have master branch here and we have Lincoln. Why don't we change to the Lincoln branch? Okay, so we are here on the Lincoln branch and we're going to make changes to here. So this one, CA 1800s. Okay, this is over on the Lincoln branch. Go ahead and save, and then we're going to commit our change. Okay, git commit. We're going to add the date that's right there. So we added the date. Now we want to switch back to our main branch. Or in our case, master. Switch to our branch master here. And you notice since we're on master here, this is the way the file looks. Let's make a change to the same line by adding in here 1820 to 1830. Okay, go ahead and save that. Let's commit the change. I'm going to do add date to master. Now, let's see if we can do a git merge with the Lincoln. So you remember right up here on the Lincoln branch, it's a different piece of text than the master that's right here. So let's try this, git merge Lincoln. And whoa, look what happens here. We see some new content in the file that's right here. So we have the current change here on the head is the master here. And on Lincoln here, this is what we see. So the markup is helping us see where the head, the master version is in this case, is conflicting with the Lincoln branch. So we're going to have to fix this manually, right? And generally we could use these merge tools that are right up here. But in our case, I think since we're using Notepad, not VS Code for this particular exercise, we can just fix this up manually. So we're going to take out this. We're going to take out the head, right? We're going to take that out. We're going to take out the letters and social aims, and we're going to take out equal signs right here. Okay, you know, we're also going to take out that markup there for Lincoln as well. So let's save. And then let's also manually commit here. So this is manually merged from branch Lincoln. Awesome. So we have a manual merge right now. Stashing changes. Though not directly related to branching, stashing our changes is a useful feature of Git. For example, let's say we're working on some changes in a branch and we need to make a quick fix in the repo before we're finished with other changes. This will show us how to stash our changes. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch to the Lincoln branch. Git checkout Lincoln. Okay, and in our text here, we can copy and paste this. So go ahead and save that, and let's do a Git status. Now imagine that a colleague needs you to edit the first.txt file with a different change for immediate publication. To ensure that we don't lose these right here, why don't we stash our changes? Okay, so let's do that with Git Stash. Okay, and that is going to stash our 3 lines that we just did right there. Okay. So let's check out the main branch. Okay, so we switch to our main/master branch. Okay, so in the first.txt here, we're going to make a change here to say 1820 through 1840. Okay, so we make the change. This is up on master right now. 1820, 1840, that means we did save. We're going to need to add that. Okay, that's git add first.txt, and then we need to commit here. So that was git commit. That was the master date line to change. Just something descriptive there. Okay. So check that out. We got the 1820, 1840 up here on the master. And that was the date change that was right up here. Okay. So let's go. Git checkout Lincoln. Okay, so we switched back out to this branch here. And let's see, that date looks a little bit different there, right? So I think we probably need to merge what was up there on the master branch. I'm just going to try this. Okay, so good. So git merge master. So we accepted the change from the master there. Let's do a git stash pop, because now that we already had these changes here, we want to retrieve the changes that we had just staged over here. So let's try that. Let's do git stash pop. And excellent. So we got the 3 lines here that need to be added in. For the screenshot, we'll do this. We'll do the git stash pop, and we'll do this part up to here. Okay, so that's all the lab is really asking for when we complete it. But just to complete this out, so we know that what it looks like here, why don't we do the same: save, add, and commit. So we got our stashed changes that we pulled into this file. We are on the Lincoln branch right now. So let's do a git add first.txt, and let's commit. Added Lincoln text. Okay, so we got that there. We're on our Lincoln branch. Let's get back to our master branch. So we have the master branch up that's here. Why don't we add in those changes now? Git merge Lincoln. And there we have it. Wow, that was cool. Really enjoyed putting this one together for you folks. Again, please consider liking and subscribing, and we'll see you on the next.